Black people have been sold the victim card and they have accepted it with three hands, and they accepted it happily because it serves a purpose. It feels so bad to accept the fact that you are a failure because of you. As we were little young children, innocent, don't know how to lie, when you are asked, is it you who did this, and it's wrong, you will nod your head and you say, yes, it's me. But quickly you would learn that accepting that responsibility of wrongdoing, it brings consequences, and there are consequences to accepting that responsibility of wrongdoing. So our minds adjust and learn how to lie and how to reject the responsibility and say it's not me, and create all these stories in your mind. Do you ever even listen to yourself when you're justifying yourself and making up a story just to tell yourself that you were not wrong, it's not your fault, even if you know very well that what you did is wrong? This is the human nature. The human mind tries as hard as possible to defend you from the pains of this world. It adjusts, and by not taking responsibility is one of the mechanisms that the mind has developed in order to protect you as a person, to protect your self-image, and from feeling as if you are inferior, feeling as if you are not worthy. And I'm sure this is a very, very important part of a human being, or otherwise we would have all killed ourselves. But that thing can play tricks with you if you don't understand it and if you don't know how to control it, because at some point this is where we get to real life, where you are supposed to take responsibility of your fuck ups. If you don't do that, it means your life will never change. Your life, you will keep on doing the same thing. And comes the politicians, comes the black activists, come the pan-Africanists to sell you this idea that it's not your fault that you are poor. It's not your fault that Africa or black or whatever is in the condition that it is in today. But of course, it's because of the white people, it's because of the colonizers, it's because of imperialism, it's because of the Chinese, it's because of, but all these other things, everything else is outside of you. That's why this message is accepted so much. And if you see on these platforms, even the same as this one on YouTube, if I was to create that kind of content, and I have some certain videos that I would agree with the majority in the kind of their mindset, you would have tons and tons of views. But I don't care. That is not my business. I would rather have few people watch my video, 3 people watch my video, who are willing to accept the responsibility and divorce this idea that we are victims for life. Because what Einstein said, insanity is keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Africans and black people, we've been doing this thing for a long time. We've been talking about how much colonization have affected Africa. We've been talking about slavery. We've been talking about neocolonialism. We've been talking about all these other things, how unjust and unfair they are. But unfortunately, we are keeping on doing the same thing. But how much have changed in Africa? That is the question that we need to answer. We have spent decades and decades complaining and speaking and writing about these matters at length. But the question is, how much have changed? Did that actually change us and take us to a better position? Unfortunately not. If you look at the continent of Africa, as the global north and the other countries which are developed are developing even faster, we are even going down and down and down. If you look at other countries, there are other countries which were better, and we can talk about Nigeria. It's even descending into more chaos. I mean, countries like Kenya, South Africa has its own problems, and Zimbabwe, and all these countries, things are getting worse instead of getting better. It means the methods that we are employing of just talking about these things does not help. We have to get to a point where we look at ourselves in the mirror and be like, you know what? It's actually us who are not doing what we're supposed to do in order to develop. That is what I believe in. I agree and I understand how bad. Colonization bad, yes. Slavery bad, yes. Neocolonialism bad, yes. Imperialism bad, yes. But the question is, so what? Now what? What do we do from here? That is the main question. That conversation, we have had it, it's done, it's finished, we understand it and we know it. But what are we supposed to do as a people? We must take the responsibility. These people who are feeding us the idea that we are victims and it's only it's white people's problem, is this and that, the Dr. Umars of this world. Bro, it doesn't help you anything in your life. It will never change your life. It feels good because, like I said, taking responsibility of you being a failure, it affects you. Nobody wants to feel that way. It feels like you are not worthy. I was watching a series on YouTube called The Men Who Built America. I don't know how much of it is actually true. Some of it is verifiable through history and stuff like that, and then some of it could be propaganda, some of it could be just acting. But there's something that I read from this. It ties into this quotation that I'm gonna recite now. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what can you do for your country. This series reflects on that America was built by individuals. There are people who had ideas. There are people who were fired by the idea of building something great. Those are the pillars and the cornerstones of building a great civilization and a great country. It starts with an individual. A society is built of individuals. Single individuals build societies. So within ourselves, we need those people. We need those people who are no excuses. Who are not willing to take any excuses, who commit themselves that, you know what, I'm gonna become a great scientist, irregardless of your color or whether you're discriminated against or whatsoever. Stop complaining about it, because that seems to be the only option that you have, really, because talking about it and complaining about it will not change anything. Those people who are just driven and have fire within themselves to build something great for themselves or for the benefit of the continent, for the benefit of the country, even if it's your selfish reason, that only your impact will end up spreading to other people. If you build a great business, you're going to employ other fellow black people, and many people will benefit, and the society will grow and prosper. So we need those individuals. Without those individuals, there is nothing. Unfortunately, nothing will ever change. We will complain for forever and ever. Even you, at a personal level, you can change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Because the moment you have this attitude that you are being told it's not your fault, it's not this, it's not that, and you have all these excuses, and you're gonna sit back and do nothing. You don't educate yourself. You don't acquire skills for yourself. This is how the job marketplace is looking like, and you sit back and say, I don't have a job, but you have a degree in arts. It's time to accept the fact that you need technical skills in order to do something in your life. You have to acquire those skills. You have no choice. Don't sit back at home and complain that there are no jobs. You have to do something. Those are the individuals who will transform the society. That is the fact. You can complain all you want. It doesn't matter. You have to do something in order to change. After complaining, after listing all those disadvantages, all those problems, all those whatever racism, whatever discrimination, whatever colonization, whatever corruption by government officials, whatever, after listing all that, your only shot at life is going ahead anyway. Irregardless of all that, is going ahead and do it anyway. Whatever you want to do in life, that's all your only shot. Changing politics takes forever. 100% we should be talking about politics and holding them accountable whatsoever. Talk about revolution, talking about Burkina Faso, and then Ibrahim Traore. We need another Traore in Malawi. We need another one in Congo. Good luck with that, having one there. But at the end of the day, that will take decades and years and maybe never. So your only shot in life is about yourself getting up and do something, whatever that is, whatever you have and wherever you are. It doesn't help you complain. It's never gonna help you. The only way is to do whatever you want to do or whatever you wish to do anyway. You have to do something anyway, irregardless of all these circumstances. Otherwise, nothing is there for you. So many people have become experts, and understand sometimes it's just content creation and whatsoever. And talking about Ibrahim Traore is a great leader, and I agree, I accept that. But the reality of the matter is he's never gonna save the whole continent. He's not gonna save you if you are in Uganda. He's not gonna save you if you are in Mozambique. He's not gonna save you if you are in Zimbabwe. He's not gonna save you if you're in South Africa. He's only a president of Burkina Faso at the moment. And us getting trapped into the idea that a revolution is gonna now things are gonna change all over the continent and blah 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 blah. That's an illusion. I mean, it might never happen, and it takes time. These things takes years and years and years. External factors takes so long. It is just the fact that you don't have much control of those external factors.